all the youth vote in Canada who are between 18 and 40 years old, I'm 44, I'm still a youth.
I'm 50.
Yeah. Then we would right now have an NDP majority government. I said to him, he said to me, Tanya, what you're doing is really risky by helping Youth Vote of Canada get the youth vote out. I said to him, Adam, if all the youth vote in this election, the 18 to 40-year-olds, 18 to 100-year-olds for the NDP, we would have a majority landslide of NDP government. He said to me, what's the percentage of the youth that have to vote for it to be a majority NDP government? I said 50% of Canadians. He said, good luck with that, Tanya. That's really risky what you're doing. I said to him, I don't really care. So he pointed me out to a gentleman he was speaking to at the table upstairs on the 4th floor. Last Friday, he said, this is the person that's hosting a demonstration against me next Saturday. So that's when he and I talked at the table. And he knows I voted for him. He knows I like him. I've known Adam for 15 years. I've been at
Me too, I like Adam Vaughn.
I've been at several meetings with him. He's done a good job for this riding. But having voted for him, because I don't know Joe Cressy, so I voted for Adam. I didn't know Adam was going to join the Liberal Party, but he did. I didn't know about Bill C-51 when I voted for him, nor did he. So to wrap it up, I said to him, please come today so we can ask you some questions. He knows about this event. He said to me that he's got his children today, and he has lots of events planned today with his kids. I said to him, bring your kids, because I feel that the political climate in Canada is more important than spending the day with your kids. So if I were to ask Adam questions, here they are. Yesterday, Adam, it was the anniversary of the signing of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. It's amazing that we need to fight for it today, and fighting for it we are. Game of Ask Adam. Number 1, how did voting yes on Bill C-51 support my rights as a Canadian? Number 2, were your yes votes on C-51 votes for security of Canadians or votes for the security of the Liberal Party? Number 3, why should I believe in a Liberal Party that has behaved like this? Justin Trudeau is quoted as saying, I will not make political hay out of this issue. Number 3, why should I believe in a Liberal Party that has behaved like this? If I were to ask him a personal question, Mr. Justin Trudeau, I would say, what would your father think of you? What do you think, for Adam, question number 4, and there's just one more. What do you think your constituents are going to do about it here in Trinity Spadina? Number 5, might you personally take a stand on principle going into the 3rd reading? Stop Bill C-51 and reject fear!
So next up we have lawyer Jack Gemmell from the Law Union of Ontario. He currently put in a Freedom of Information to try and get the files that the Conservative government had put together saying why this isn't going to break the Charter and why it's okay to kind of go forward. Upon kind of giving in that request, the government responded and said the amount of time that it would take to actually gather that information would cost him about $5,000. That's disgusting. First of all, when a lawyer asks for any sort of information about how a bill violates our charters or about any bill, I personally think that it should be given free of charge, and I think it should be given the same free of charge for any person that's a citizen of this country. If they want any information from government, it should just be handed over. That's what our taxes are for. So here's Jack Gemmell.
It's great to see everybody out. This is a very, very important issue. It affects all Canadians, all across this country. I think the big surprise to the Harper government when they brought this forward is that they thought it would just be the usual suspects who were opposed to this bill. The Law Union, Canadian Civil Liberties Association, BC Civil Liberties Association. But in fact, to their surprise, what's happened is that there's been widespread opposition to this. The Globe and Mail didn't like it. The National Post didn't like it. Conrad Black didn't like it. There is a wake-up call to the Conservative government, that is it. One of the most serious problems with Bill C-51 is the information sharing. And the information they want to share is your information. And it's a one-way street. The information will flow out of the public personal databases in the Government of Canada, from Passport Canada, from the income tax people, into the black hole called the 17 security agencies, the security apparatus of Canada. And you can't get that information out just to find out what they know and what they're doing. It's virtually impossible. A simple question asked to them was how many people are on the current no-fly list, and they refused to give that information because it was supposedly information relating to the security of Canada. Shame. Shame. Now, they've gone through a series of committee hearings which were truncated. And what they also were a very deep insight into the mindset of this government. For example, when the National Council of Canadian Muslims testified, they were subjected to a McCarthyistic attack trying to delegitimize them. The Conservatives then followed up by calling a witness who gave no evidence on Bill C-51 but spent his entire 10 minutes attacking the council. This is the kind of future we're looking for a government for political gains will try and marginalize groups in this country. And the people wearing the bullseyes in this bill are, of course, the Muslim Canadians, or of course the First Nations people who are protesting, trying to save their land claims, and the environmentalists. These are the people who are going to face the brunt of this bill. I think it's very, very important that demonstrations like that continue. It doesn't matter if this bill passes, because we have an election coming up, October the 19th, and it's time to throw the bastards out.
Yeah! Yeah! Woo!
It's very disappointing that progressive people like Adam Vaughn, who should know better, has not come out against this bill.
Shame! Shame, Adam!
Now, I'd like to think shame on Justin Trudeau because he should know better, but I'm not sure if he does, to be honest. But it's critically important, though, that we get the news out into the community. Because out there, I can tell you, there are many people who just don't understand the bill. They don't understand. They think that the information sharing is just amongst the police. It's not. It's the police going out to take your personal information, no protection for privacy rights at all. It's about giving our CSIS, our giving them essentially secret police powers. One of the questions raised at the committee and one of the amendments put to them was whether or not CSIS could use these measures in order to detain people. Because that's the ultimate power of a secret police, is they knock on the door at night, the secret detention in a place where nobody knows, a secret interrogation. When asked about does the measures include detention, the answer was yes, it does, and it also includes rendition. So they could not only detain someone, they could send them to another place.
Shame!
Shame. So this is why we have to oppose this. When asked, another telling moment at the committee members' hearing was when Diane Oblonsky, the right-wing conservative member from Alberta, was responding to an amendment put by the Green Party to try and cut back on the AMP of these measures, in which she famously said, well, why are you complaining about the rule of law? Why are you complaining about principles of so-called fundamental justice? This is the kind of attitude we've been subjected to for at least the last 5 years. It's a government that simply regards the Charter as something to be not obeyed, not honored, but rather to be sidestepped and avoided at all costs. So thank you very much for coming out.
We are here to reject fear.
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 Do you want Bill C-51?
No!
What do you want?
Human rights!
Justice! Human rights! Yes,
Justice.
that's why we're standing up. Awesome.
Adam Vaughn to lose his seat.
Yeah. So, I just want to remind everyone that we have a party tonight.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah!
Can fundraiser at Hughes Room. There's going to be lots of amazing music, as well as Juno Award-winning Mariam Tolar Ensemble. So it's going to be lots of fun. So come out tonight to Hughes Room if you can. And I also want to announce that we're making plans for a huge demonstration on May 30th in Ottawa. So if you can save that date, there may be actions all over the country, but the Toronto Coalition to Stop Bill C-51 is putting plans together for a really large demonstration on Parliament Hill on May 30th. So save that date. Yep, absolutely.
No, Sergio Benetti. Okay. Also, everyone, do you like coffee? Dark Horse has good coffee, and that table over there, thanks to the generous donation of Mr. Sergio Benetti at 205 Spadina, he has given us today $100 for coffee.
Woo!
So, yeah. So Lisa, and I forgot his name at the table. If anyone would like coffee, there's 46 more coffees to be had. So everyone here can have a coffee. So feel free to go get one.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so, woo! I like it. You know, it's a beautiful day. It's easy to forget on gorgeous days like this how much influence the government actually has. And so I'm really, really appreciative for everyone who is here today. Make sure you actually grab some extra pamphlets or buttons and share with your friends, because we have this last push this week. But as I said, we're going to get even more serious about standing up against the human rights infractions after they go to the third reading, most likely next week. So anyways, up next we have Joan, who is Joyce, who is with Fair Vote Canada, and she represents the Toronto chapter.
Thank you. Hi. You know, this kind of bill should never even have seen the light of day in Canada. I mean, this just is not Canada to have this kind of bill lurking around and ready to pass. And the reason is because we have an electoral system that doesn't represent Canadians. Otherwise, we would never have Harper Conservatives putting forward this kind of bill, the budget bills, the omnibus budget bill, destroying environmental legislation, and a whole lot of bills that Canadians really don't believe in.